When the children cry and don't want to sleep and become difficult and so on, many parents give their children dummies or pacifier, there's a little rubber thing they allow to suck. And by sucking this, it calms them down. But now, in the 21st century, we have another kind of pacifier. It's another electronic one. It's called the video games. So many parents, in order to make the children quiet, don't bother them too much, don't fight with each other, they just give them a video game to play. This is especially work very well for busy parents. By giving video game to them, the children become quiet, so they don't move. They just sit in one place until the parent come back. But video game is also quite problematic in the long term, because children can get addicted to the video game. The first thing we notice that the children who play video game too much is the academic performance drop. There are many video games. Many of them are educational. These are very good, but the educational video game usually are not doesn't last long. Children get tired of it very quickly. The one that children love, especially the older children, is the violent video game. When they're shooting each other and killing each other. And this is actually the one that's very attractive to children. So why children are attracted to video game more than at any other age? It is because during that period, the brain is very active. They get bored very quickly. So video game keep the brain active. And the other thing is when they are young, as teenagers or even younger than that, the brain requires a lot of reward. So video game by its very nature reward the player. Yeah? Especially the violent video game, and the more violent we are, the more reward we get. So if we're trying to be nice to each other, game's over. So this is why many children love to play video game. Video game act by stimulating a hormone production, dopamine. Dopamine is the reward stimulating hormone. So the more we play, the more pleasure we get. And so that if we stop playing, then we don't feel good about it. It's just like any other addiction, gambling, drug addiction. When we stop doing it, we don't feel good. So we have to continue doing it. And then what happens is as the time goes by, we need more and more stimulation. So many people, many children in the world are addicted to video game. And this is one of the biggest problem parents often complain to me, that the children just never stop playing video game. And the young mind is actually, sometimes they are too excited, they need rest, right? They need sleep. Children who play video games sometimes deprive themselves of sleep. To be healthy mentally and physically, children have to have at least 10 hours sleep every night. But when they get addicted to video games, sometimes they don't sleep at all. Sometimes they sleep at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then they cannot wake up to go to school in the next day. And then not only that, but when they do go to school, they cannot study properly. So like I said earlier, the impact of video game is that, I'm talking about the violent kind of video game, is that the academic performance drop. Number two, the social skill actually diminish. To be successful in life, we have to be able to have good relationship with everybody, and too much video game actually reduce our ability to work with people, yeah? Our emotional skill, in other words. Another thing is thinking. To be successful, we have to be able to learn to think, to make good decisions. But if you play video game, the last thing you want to do is to think. You have to react, not think. So by playing video game continually, children start to lose their ability to think because they just react. It's okay when you're a soldier, when you have to go to the battlefield and you have to react quickly. But in any other profession, in medical profession, in engineering, in business, we have to learn to think. So that's another problem. Another indicator of the damage that it causes to children is We know that after playing a violent computer game for a long time, children tend to be aggressive, and many of them have a problem with the police and so on. So what can we do to help our children not to play computer games so much? It is very, very difficult to do that once they got addicted. You know, in China, many parents spend a lot of money and send their children to a video game boot camp, where they treat them like soldiers. You know, they punish them, they do physical exercise until they drop. And the worst thing they also did was they inject the young children, you know, age of 11, 12, 13, with drugs. The same kind of drug that they use to stop drug addiction. And in fact, the drug itself probably more harmful than the computer game itself. The best way to prevent our children from becoming a computer game addict or video game addict is to start them when they're very young. When their children are young, they listen to us more than when they're older, of course. So, and also children love to play together when they're young. We cannot stop our children playing computer game totally. So we should allow them to play computer game, but at the same time, we also take them out, you know, to go shopping, to go swimming, to play sport like badminton together with the brothers and sisters, to develop discipline in them so they can watch video game or play video game only for a certain amount of time, say 1 hour after dinner. After they do their homework, they can do 1 hour. After that, they have to go to sleep. And if we can do that when they are young, we have less problem when they become older, when they become teenagers. Thank you very much.